Well, we got to bring in the authors of a book called Hooked, Dr. Frida Bush and Dr. Joe McElhaney.
And we also have today the author of The Case Against Adolescence, Dr. Robert Epstein. Also with us, you know Taylor Moore. She's here all the time. She practices abstinence. And Melissa Natoli, who says she can handle casual sex relationships.
Dr. Epstein, do you buy this?
With all due respect, Drs. McElhaney and Dr. Bush are suffering from a disease, which some people these days are calling the brain overclaim syndrome. It's a horrible disease. It puts money in people's pockets. It gets people some grants. I did a review for Scientific American just last year about these studies, the Gied studies and others. There is no scientific evidence whatsoever, none, not one little shred, showing that there's something wrong with the teen brain. The teen brain is just part of normal human development. Our brains keep changing throughout our lifetime. In more than 100 cultures around the world, there is no teen turmoil whatsoever. Teens are not seen as irresponsible and incompetent. More than 100 cultures around the world, there isn't even a word for adolescence.
How can the opinion be so different, Dr. McElhaney?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a baby. The baby's just not mature and not ready to go out and do mechanical work.
But he says
on a car.
we are mature enough in our teens.
He didn't say we weren't mature.
But
he
we're
said
ready to
there's
pursue
nothing
relationships
wrong.
in our teens.
Pursue relationships, but what's clear from the data about adolescent behavior is that they do it best with the guidance of their parents.
How important, how critical is the environment in which you grow up in which you are
It's everything. It's everything. The brain has nothing to do with this. That's just pseudoscience being used to promote a certain agenda, the abstinence agenda. And the fact is, the environment is everything. We don't let young people in this country develop real love. We don't encourage them to pursue serious relationships and to get married young.
Well, so you don't think that teenagers should be getting married, do you?
Many of them absolutely should be. You look back in history, first of all, Mary was 12 or 13 when she had Jesus, was she not? Look back in history. Several presidents of the United States.
We only lived till 30. Back then.
Barbara Bush.
Let's pick up the pace.
Barbara Bush was dating George at 16 and engaged at 17. Yeah. You don't have to look very far into our own history or look at countries around the world to find that young people are definitely capable.
Well, even in the United States, Dr. Epstein, men who marry in their teens have a lower divorce rate than men who marry in their 20s.
In my new book, I actually come up with census data showing that that is true, that young men in this country who marry in their teens have a lower divorce rate than men who marry in their 20s.
See this woman over here, Taylor Moore? She will not have sex until she's married. Why not? Epstein, though. Her mother is a big influence in her life. Is that where she's getting this?
Look, Taylor, you sound very mature, which is great. But if you're doing things because you're mature and you've thought things through, that's great. But a lot of people who abstain, young people who abstain, are doing it because of pressure, because of control. Now,
Control from whom?
Control from parents or from...
Are you saying she's brainwashed by her mother, Trudy?
Every case is different, but you know what we know from all the best studies? 90% of the young people who declare abstinence have sex before marriage, and they have the same rate of STDs as people who do not declare abstinence, and that's because they don't know how to use condoms.
We got it. We're going to talk to Melissa down there. Here we go. Melissa.
That's what it is.
Isn't that key?
In all due respect, I have to say, these studies were not done by abstinence educators or proponents of abstinence. They were done by the National Institute of Health. And so you cannot...
well, there's a bad source.
Hold on we're going to continue the discussion because it's getting nice and hot here. When we come back, hear from Melissa and Taylor's mom, plus a woman who wrote a book about her sexual past called Loose Girl.
It pretty much says it all.
For sure now.